I started working out seriously back in the 80s when cardio ruled. And I didn't know anybody who was serious into resistance training, but if I were to start working out today, this is a workout that I would do. After warming up with jump rope for 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to use resistance today in the form of what I call O-bands. They're loop bands. And I have 2 different brands here. I'll link everything below. These are both extra heavy, different brands. And I find that the J. Bryant Fitness one is more intense than the Fit Simplicity one. But the Fit Simplicity one is still really good, and it comes in a kit with about 4 or 5 different levels of intensity that go down. So this is the extra heavy. The red here is the heavy. I'll only be using the extra heavy. But it goes all the way down to light resistance. So you have a big range of resistance, and I'll link everything that I'm going to use below. For my jump rope, I'm going to be using my this is a 5mm PVC rope that I got from Dope Ropes. It has unbreakable handles, a string in the middle. I always almost exclusively use Dope Ropes ropes. They're inexpensive, very durable, and they're consistent. So I can always buy the same exact thing every time I want a new one. And I have here also a jump rope mat. This one is also from Dope Ropes. And I'm going to use it not only to jump rope on to cushion and protect my rope, I'm also going to use it when I come down to the ground as a mat. There are 5 exercises that are resistance based, again using these O-bands. And then after each one, I'm going to have a short interval with jump rope. Let's get started warming up. I'll only show a couple minutes while I am also going over the exercises that we're going to be doing. And then I'll quickly go through 1 round of the exercise, although I'm going to do it 3 times for my total workout.
I already mentioned I was going to warm up with jump rope, and I did so for about 3 minutes. While I show that, I'm also showing the resistance exercises with the bands. I will go into more detail in how to do each exercise during the actual workout, but here's just a little preview. An upright row with an overhead press, accompanied by a side lunge. And then we have our 50 jacks. That's going to be the first cardio exercise. You could do this without a jump rope if you don't like to jump rope. The second resistance exercise has the bands around the ankles, and it is a spinal balance with a small hip dip. And during the workout, I show a lot of variations that you can use. The second interval with jump rope is 2-1 high knees. So you do single, single, double, single, single, double, and there's 50 of those. The third resistance exercise has the bands around the arches of your feet. And we do a knee lift and then squat to the side and sit down low. Not too low. We're mostly working the outer thigh, but you do want to sit down low enough that you're going to also work your glutes. The next jump rope is running man's. We do 50 total. The fourth resistance exercise is another compound one. They're all compound exercises, but it's tricep extension into a chest press while doing a jack. Again, I go into more detail in how to do this during the actual workout. And then we're back to the jump rope, and it's 100 tick-tocks. It goes by really quick, and you got to hold the rope low so that you can make room for your legs to go to the side without tripping. Our last resistance exercises are for the abs. And instead of doing a compound exercise the way that we did before, we're going to do 2 separate exercises with all the reps in a row. So we're going to do 25 on each side of what I call canoe rows, and then 25 on each side of a balancing boat flutter kick. They're pretty intense, and you can do them without the band if you want them a little bit easier. So that's a summary of the workout. If you want to do it with me, grab your band and your rope. You can do it with me, and I'll show 1 time through. But I will also list the workout in the description if you want to do it on your own.
Exercise 1 is a compound exercise. We're going to be doing a side lunge with an upright row and then go into an overhead press Takes a little concentration. Your hand is going to be clear down with your arm extended and your wrist straight. Don't let the wrist kink off. And you're gonna lift up as you lunge, then bring your hand that was down to your shoulder and lift up into an overhead press. So it's lunge, hand, up, down. 2. We're shooting for between 8 and 10. If you only do this one time through, definitely do a little bit more, at least 10. Breathe out, breathe out. You can do this slower until you feel confident with the movements. You can even do more than 10, especially if it's only one round. You want to feel it work though. We're going to do both sides. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 2 more because that last one wasn't the best form. Jump rope. I'm going to do 50 jacks with the jump rope. You can do just any other thing you want, but that's what I'm going to do. 5, 6, 16, 17, 23. Exercise 2 is also a compound exercise, meaning there's more than one movement to it. And I'll show some options. The band is around our ankles. And we're going to start out in plank position and do my right leg and my left arm a spinal balance. Then I'm going to roll to the side and do a hip dip. That's one option. Another, after you do the spinal balance, you can come up, lift your foot up, and do the hip dip. I almost tipped over. Or you can come to your knees and do the hip dip this way. If your wrists are giving you problems, you can do this from your elbows, even on your knees. But if I were here, I'd do my extension that way. I'd drop my knees, roll to the side, and do my hip dip this way. You could also be on your feet sideways that way and have your leg up as I showed the first time. But I'm gonna do them the first way that I showed. And this is pretty intense. Doesn't probably look like it, but it actually is very intense and it works your whole core up into your shoulders and everything. So again, between 8 and 10 to 12. Again, if you're only doing one round, you're gonna do more than if you were doing it 3 times through. So spinal balance, roll to the side, hip dip. It shouldn't be a huge hip dip. It's pretty small. My deck is extremely hot right now. So if I start to cry, it's because my hands are burning. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not uncommon to have one side that is dominant. So you're gonna maybe struggle doing the other one, which is fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whoops, 8, 9, 10, 'Even though that was on the ground, my heart rate is up. That tells me this is going to be a very effective workout. My muscles really felt that. So I'm going to do 25 on each side, 2-1 high knees. So 50 total, and you can do anything else you'd rather do. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, total of 50, 4. Twenty-seven, 28, 40, 49, 50, 'We're all ready to exercise 3. It's for the lower body. So we're going to bring the band around the arches of our feet. But we're going to do a knee lift, engaging through the hip flexors and lower parts of the abdominals, because those muscles cross that joint. So high as you can, step out. I'm calling it a side squat. So lift and squat, lift and squat. Legs usually are stronger than the upper body. I talked about how I have more than one band. I've been using the J. Bryant Fitness, which was the more intense band. But even if I had used a lighter band on the upper body, I could still use the heavier band for my lower body, because these muscles are bigger and more powerful. Again, one time through would mean maybe a few more reps. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side. We wanna feel this work. Lift, side, really intense. Lift, really crunch everything right through the abs and hip flexors, really contract them. 4, step wide. 5, but we're bending both knees. 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna go for 12, but a minimum of 8 if we can. We can even do 6 or 5, it's okay. I just give a number because a lot of people like to aim for something. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do 25 running mans on each leg. You can do anything else you'd rather do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Another compound exercise with our bands, and it can get a little tricky, so pay attention and do a few practice ones. And you can do this without the footwork if you want. Okay, so you're gonna have your hand on the opposite arm, like we did when we did our overhead press before. Remember how we did this, and then we brought our hand, and then we did our press? Similar idea, but this is gonna be for our triceps. And if you can do it with the movement, we're gonna be doing it with the jack. But you've got the hand on the opposite shoulder, your elbow anchored into your hip. Don't let it come back, because I see people do this all the time. And we don't want that. We're here. Extend with a straight wrist. So we're gonna go arm down and then forward into a chest press. And each of those can be accompanied by a jack. Keep your wrists straight. Don't let it kink. Really challenge. Even though I give a number between 8 and 10, you might need more. You might need 16, you might need 6. I can feel mine because I'm using the heavier band. Nothing wrong with going lighter and doing more. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you're feeling it really intensely by the end. Other arm. Wrist straight, don't let it kink. Hold on, elbow on the hip. Press, press, 2, press, 3. Obviously the elbow lifts up on the chest press. Elbow on the hip on the tricep extension. Holy cow. I'm doing 2 more if I can. Oh baby. Jump rope, and my heart rate's up. This time I'm gonna do 50 on each leg of the tick-tock. So it ends up being 100, but it goes by really fast. And I need a quick drink. One, 2, 3, 4. 11, 12, 13. And 7, 8, 30, 31, 30, 38, 39, 40, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our last thing is for our abs / core. We did some core stuff already. This is really going to focus on the front part, the abs. And let's do exercises again. So, and the band is optional because this is intense without it. First thing we're going to do, I call a canoe row. We want to keep our belly button pulled in, but breathe. So breathe through your mouth. Just keep your belly button pulling towards your spine. We're not trying to hold our breath or anything like that. In fact, that's the opposite of what we want. Just engage those muscles. And we're going to twist and pull. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I forgot to mention we're going for 25. 15, 16 on each side. 17, 18, 19, 20, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's part 1. Second part is a flutter, and you can bring the bands up around the ankles on this one. Again, pull the belly button towards the spine, but don't hold your breath. We're going to come into a boat pose and try to keep our legs as straight as possible. The band does make it harder. You can do it without the band. So you're going to balance to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. I got tired on that last one. Let's do our last jump rope. All right, I'm gonna do 100 total, so 50 on each side, slaloms. So it's just here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 4, 25, halfway done, 29, 30, 31, 39, 40, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That by itself is a solid workout. It's a great workout one time through, but if you want faster gains and you want more gains in a shorter amount of time, you can do this up to 3 times. I almost always do it 3 times because I like to eat a lot, and I'm also somebody who's trying to push for goals. If you did this kind of workout back in the 80s, people would have looked at you funny. How could you possibly burn and get gains without leg warmers on? What? Who thought that could even be a thing? But of course we know now that these are much more effective workouts. We want to be able to keep our muscle mass and our bone mass as we age, and it's almost impossible to keep those numbers up. I went and got my body fat done recently in a bod pod, and I hadn't done it for a while in that place for the last 6 years, and I'd actually gained a little bit of muscle mass, and the lady said that's crazy for my age that I hadn't lost. And I know it's because I lift weights. Even though these are bands, they're resistance workouts, and therefore I've been able to keep my muscle mass up against all the odds. I'm 57 years old, so usually by now they start tanking, even with workouts. So start working out with weights if you haven't already. If you're starting out all together, if this is the beginning of your workout journey, this is the right place to be. Cardio is important, and we had it in this workout as well. So, but just not all cardio. We need resistance training. You guys have a great workout. Drop me a line in the comments if you'd like to see any other kind of resistance workouts or jump rope workouts. I have quite a few on my channel, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.